What's going on, Phantom Force and Cosmox fans alike? This is Phantom Base coming at you with our week number 3 team prep video for the PMC Season 6. Your Cosmox are taking on Aaron 2420, coach of the Calgary Infernapes. And yeah, Aaron's off to a bit of a rough start of the season. He's 0-2, but his differential's really small, so he hasn't lost by much. He had a really close game against Johnny GB this past week, so that was cool to watch. Yeah, looking at his team is really threatening to me. And without much further ado, let's get right into the matchup and kind of go through his team and can explain what each mon that he could potentially bring. One Rebombi and Cartana are two mons I definitely expect to see coming. Cartana just destroys teams in general. Rebombi is the one thing on his team that outruns my entire team naturally, so that's kind of scary to think about. It is, it does make me partially want to run, kind of fight fire with fire a little bit and run counter webs, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's necessary. And you'll see what I mean when it comes to this next team, or this team construct. Cartana threatens my defensive core pretty heavily. Clefable just gets destroyed by it. Kofag gets destroyed by it. Really, Quag shouldn't even come this match. Shuckle gets destroyed by it. Heracross is a semi-check to it. Garchomp is a semi-check to it. Mandibuzz is my best check to it. Offensively, my best check is Salazzle. So yeah, that's always fun. Hoopa and Bound is an interesting matchup. His combination of his dual stab kind of goes unresisted on my team outside of Mandibuzz. And it gets coverage. I really expected to run a physical set this week, potentially banded, maybe even scarfed. Scarfed potentially to handle my Salazzle and a few other things on my team. But if he's going to run Scarf, I see him running Trick with it, so he'd probably run Dual Stab, Hyperspace Hole, Zen Headbutt, Ice or Thunder Punch, probably Ice Punch for Garchomp and Mandibuzz, and then Trick to shut down something like Clefable or Quag or Mandibuzz or Ferrothorn, Cofagrigus, anything of that nature. Gengar, a spec set just kind of runs through me. My best switch in would be like an AB Heliolisk, or maybe once again Mandibuzz, but Mandibuzz is starting to get a little overwhelmed in this matchup already, as you can tell. Rotom Wash is a nuisance. The problem with my team is that he has a lot of Trick mons. He has Trick Rebombi, he has Trick Hoopa, Trick Gengar, Trick Rotom. All these things can run a choice item and run Trick and really just kind of shut my team down, my defensive team down. If he's going to run a Trick mon, I think it's going to be a Rotom. And I can see him running it Scarfed with like Dual Stab, Hydro Volt Switch, HP Ice, and then Trick. There's other options to run Will-O-Wisp on it, I think. And run a more defensive set to check Garchomp. Amoonguss could come. It's not very good because it's set up fodder for Mega Heracross. It's destroyed by Mandibuzz. It's essentially death fodder for Salazzle, unless he's running Stomping Tantrum. But Ferrothorn walls it. Garchomp sets up on it, unless he's running Foul Play. But even then, Heracross walls it 100% of the time. Swampert, I don't think should come, but it has a place. Like it could be a decent Rindo lead with rocks. My only thing I would find hard to see against that would be if I ran Bullet Seep Ferrothorn or Bullet Seep Heracross. The Rinder's kind of pointless in that regard. Especially because he can't outrun Heracross. Klefki is annoying to my team. A Spike Stacker with Dazzling Gleam, Magnet Rise, and potentially either Toxic or Thunder Wave or Foul Play even. But mostly I see Dazzling Gleam as the only offensive move because my only resist is Ferrothorn and Salazzle. And Ferrothorn, it sets up Spike Zone for free. I guess you can run Defog, but that's just, I don't know. Moltres is a huge threat to my team. I don't have to switch into this thing. The combination of flying and fire just goes unresisted on my entire draft. Like, I literally cannot switch into that. And that makes it scary. My best switch-in is an Assault. That's Mandibuzz of its specs. However, that also means that I'll speed it with things like, Chomp, Peleolist, Quag, Salazzle, all that jazz. Mega Guard Chomp can be a nuisance. Some bulky sets really threatening to my team. Especially if I decide to run like Unaware Clef and he runs Toxic. Fire Fang destroys Ferrothorn. EQ is a nuisance to most of my team outside of Mandibuzz and Ferrothorn. And then Wigglytuff is just not a bring versus me. If he brings it, I'll be shocked, but you know what? I'm sure to be running something like Ice Beam or Dazzling Gleam. Probably Flamethrower plus Dazzling Gleam, just kind of whatever, I don't know. But Wigglytuff just isn't a good bring here. So without much further ado, let's get into why I brought. And the first thing you're going to see is a Flame Plate Salazzle. Now, originally, I had a funny, I think I had a goofy Flame Plate Salazzle with Flame Charge, Leech Life, Flamethrower, and Sludge Wave. And the reason for that was it capitalized on Hoopa, and it let me set up Flame Charges on switch-ins to, I don't know. The thing is, it didn't really shut down things like Swampert and Rotom very easily. On top of that, it was kind of stopped by offensive Moltres too, because offensive Moltres shooting Sludge Wave and still killing me with Hurricane. It was ridiculous. So I had to ultimately decide to go, instead of a sweeper Salazzle per se, more of a breaker. And I quite like this. I quite like the Salazzle set. Fire Blast into Overheat after rocks. Didn't his resists well enough. Fizdef Rotom takes a combination of Fire Blast and Overheat does 65%. It's ridiculous. So after rocks, it's down to about 20% at most. It's really good. Sludge Wave does a good numbers of Rotom. Sludge Wave is HP Rock is specifically here for the Mandibuzz, or not Mandibuzz, the Moltres, and only because it's that big of a threat to my team that I actually need to check it. With to offensively check it at least. Moltres is such a problem. Also, before I go any further, much thanks to Gypsy King for the mock that I got for this match. In that mock, he brought a very effective sub, which is sub boost 2 attacks, Moltres, which really just did a number to my team. But this set first off capitalizes on any taunts or infatuation, I guess, if something wants to try to stop me from setting up a nasty plot or a sub or whatever. So I've been known to run nasty plot the last 2 weeks. This week I'm just running a breaker with 4 attacks. because this is what I need to stop his team. Like I said, Fire Blast and Overheat just does so much to his team. Fire Blast blows away Gengar. Obviously, Fire Blast kills like 12 Kartanas and 3 Ribombee. Sludge Wave kills all 4 of these moves, just blow away Ribombee. But mostly Fire Blast and Sludge Wave. Overheat is there in the event that Rotom or Swampert are in range of Overheat. After I click Fire Blast on their switch in, like if they've taken some chip and then I click Fire Blast and they're in range of Overheat, I'll click Overheat and just kill them and make my switch from there. So essentially Salazzle's point is to break the team down, which he can do pretty effectively. Garchomp isn't really the one thing that stops me, but I have my checks to Garchomp. Speaking of Garchomp, we're running a Dragonium Z Chomp this week. 3 attacks and Stealth Rocks. It looks kind of goofy to have Flamethrower, but we need Flamethrower so we can make sure that we knock out Kartana if it's taken any chip whatsoever. Like, if it's taken any chip whatsoever, I think it still dies through Aqua Berry. But my biggest thing is this week I'm going to try to Hazard Sack him. So maybe Rocks and Spikes up, and you'll see that really is going to come into play pretty effectively. Outrage Earthquake, Flamethrower covers his entire team pretty much. A Flamethrower also is a 2 KO on a Fist F on a Klefki, which is really nice. Unless it's like a Spit F Klefki, but even then, it's not doing a whole lot. It's good chip on that thing. If he's an EQ, if he's not Magnet Rise, he's going to toss it into the dirt. Outrage after a Spike, I believe, kills Garchomp. Mega Garchomp. Regular Garchomp. If he switches in regular Garchomp on me and I somehow catch him with the Outrage, he's dead. This investment, while I know it doesn't creep regular Garchomp, because we don't have to Mega Wall first turn, so while I know it doesn't creep regular Garchomp, it creeps not only Hoopa, but Adamant Mega Garchomp. And it allows me to it allows me to switch into hazards, take a hit from Moltres, and kill it back with the Outrage. It also allows me to, after, essentially, if Rotom takes any hit from any one of my team, even if it's Salazzle's Fire Blast, it's in range of the Outrage from Garchomp. EQ is spammable here. His only resist is Ribombee and Rotom. And Ribombee is actually 2 KO by Flamethrower, funny enough. And Rotom drops to Z Outrage after it takes any kind of chip whatsoever. Outrage after a Spike, like I said, kills Megachomp. EQ dents this team really well. Like I said, my Breaker Core is really good versus his team. But my matchup is kind of tough overall, so really trying to work around it. Speaking of, I need to have some defensive answers to his demons, and that means I need Magikarp Clef. And I know you're thinking, he's got some setup here. Why wouldn't you bring Unaware Clef? Because one, Magic card allows me to kind of be a status sponge. It allows me to switch into things I want to check. Garchomp, for example, Rotom. If he burns me, he can't spore me with a Mungus. And this particular Clefable set is meant to check. It is meant to be a check to physical Hoopa, as well as a last ditch check to a runaway Kartana. And the Magic Guard makes it so I can switch into all the hazards I want. I can be statused, and I just won't have my sash broken. So, if Kartana's is trying to sweep through my team, I get into Clef, and I haven't taken any damage, then I kill Kartana with Flamethrower, guaranteed. And there's no way I can stop that, which is great. We have Wish and Protect on Clefable to heal up Salazzle, heal up Garchomp, heal itself up, obviously. Wish is also for the other members of my team, in particular one very Spadef Pokemon that most people won't see coming. But now this Clefable checks Mega Chomp pretty well. It's a last ditch check to Kartana. It's a check to physical Hoopa for the most part. Checks Swampert pretty well. It checks Klefki rather well. It's a one-time switch into Moltres, but it doesn't do anything back to it, so I really won't be switching into it more so than I will be switching into this other mon, which would be my Mandibuzz. Funny enough, even a timid Moltres takes 44 to 52 from a foul play from Mandibuzz because his attack stats are so high. So, U-turn, Roost, foul play, Brave Bird. Brave Bird is literally, this thing is my guaranteed switch into Mungus. It is a counter. It is a counter to a Mungus. The only thing a Mungus could do is Toxic me. That's it. Every other move just bounces off Mandibuzz. Brave Bird 2 KOs. Foul play 2 KOs Hoopa. Foul play one shots a sword. One shots Kartana after any amount of chip. Well, not after just rocks, but after a spike, yes, it dies to foul play. If it's a Jolly Max attack set. Brave Bird, like I said, 2 shots, any Amoongus. U-turn is there to catch him on switches and also to make sure that I'm a better check to Hoopa. Because U-turn does a good solid chunk to Hoopa. Even though I won't kill it in a shot, U-turn I know it's a shock. But it will give me enough chip to where anything that's faster than Hoopa can deal with it. Next up we have a semi-defensive / offensive Ferrothorn. And let me explain the reasoning for this. One, this Aqua Berry allows me to actually take what was it? First off, this investment allows me to beat Garchomp 1v1. Because if he stays in as regular Garchomp and tries to SD on me, Gyro Ball actually does more to Mega Chomp. It does like 41 to 48 to that thing. Mega Chomp takes like 33 to 39 or something like that. Just because it's fatter and slower. But Power Whip and Gyro Ball together kind of destroy that thing. Aqua Berry gives me a one-time check to HP Fire Rebombi, which allows me to kill it with Gyro Ball. Spikes are really necessary. Actually, I think I invested this so that I would take an HP Fire into an HP Fire if it wasn't boosted from Rebombi. Hoopa can't kill me with Fire Punch, can't kill me. The only thing it can kill me with is like Focus Punch, and I'm not letting that happen. This attack investment is what allows me to 2-KO Hoopa with Gyro Ball. Power Whip destroys any variant of Swampert, even a Rindo Berry. Power Whip through Rindo does like 180-something%. It's ridiculous. Destroys Rotom. That's what we calculate this for. So that after rocks, Rotom dies to a Power Whip, even if it's Fizz Def. And Leech Seed is there so that I can get some recovery back on things like Swampert or catching any switch, really. I know this. I originally had HP Fire on this to check Kartana, but with Mandibuzz there in the back, as well as my last mon, as well as offensive checking Salazzle, I really didn't see the need to do that. So anything else this thing checks? I'm trying to think. Obviously destroys Wigglytuff. Also 2 KOs Gengar. It helped me solidly chip down to Klefki too. And yeah, like I said, it destroys Rebombi. The last mon we have on here is our glue to this team. That is my nearly full Spidef Mega Heracross. Sub Missile Rock Blast in close combat. Let me explain this set, because this set is just evil. This set is a counter almost to +1 Rebombi. +1 Moonblast does max 89% to me. +1 Moonblast does max 89% to Mega Heracross. He's not running Zero Bombi this week, not when he needs a Sash to guaranteed get set up, especially against something like Salazzle or Ferrothorn or Fable or Mandibuzz even, or even Garchomp. Um, he needs the sash to be able to set up, and that's where this Heracross is going to capitalize. Like I said, we live any +1 hit from Ribombee, guaranteed. Psychic does like max, I think, 74% or something like that at +1. +1 Moonblast does, like I said, max 89%. And we obviously kill with Rock Blast. Here's the real reason for this investment. One, we actually beat Kartana 1v1 with this. Psycho Cut does not kill us after rocks, and we kill with close combat. But the biggest reason for this is that if he brings a special Hoopa, and he brings a Scarf, and for some reason he brings Hyperspace Hole, even after I click sub, if he switches hard into Hoopa for some reason, like, or if I'm behind a sub and something dies, and my sub hasn't broken, I can take a Hyperspace Hole and from 75% and live, and kill back with Pin Missile, or close combat really, but so that's the entire reason behind this Heracross, is that it can take on that kind of Hoopa. Obviously, like I said, I think he's going to be a physical Hoopa, because it does better versus my team. It gets better coverage as a physical set. It can shut down Ferrothorn, it can shuts down Mandibuzz better, I think. Definitely shuts down Garchomp. Literally just Hyperspace Hole destroys my entire team. Hyperspace Hole one-shot Salazzle. Zen Headbutt 2 shots, Clefable. Ice Punch 2 shots, everything else on my team just about. Like, Hyperspace Hole has a good chance to do it a crap ton of just my Ferrothorn. But yeah, his Heracross does a really good job of checking his special threats. The only, like, just to give you a Specs Flamethrower from Moltres does max 100%. It has to max roll me to kill me. This thing walls Mega Chomp. Even Fire Fang does max 43%. Like, Heracross destroys. I mean, close combat, 2 shots. Pin Missile, 2 shots, Mega Garchomp. Like, Swampert gets destroyed by... Swampert and Ramash both are 2 shot by Pin Missile. Amoonguss is 2 shot by Pin Missile. Gengar's 2 shot by Rock Blast, 1 shot after rocks. After rocks and a Spike is definitely 1 shot. Kartana's 1 shot by close combat. Ribombe's 1 shot by Rock Blast. Like, despite this Heracross being really bulky, it's still a good breaker. We 2-shot Bizdef Klefki with close combat. That's how disgusting this thing is. Like, and we obviously kill like 5 Moltres with Rock Blast, but still. So really, this team doesn't look like it has much of a win condition, but my biggest win condition is not getting swept. So really, my biggest win condition is probably going to be, my biggest win conditions are probably going to be like, honestly, my defensive core. Clef, Mandibuzz, Heracross, really. Or if Heracross just checks, Ribombee, his job will have been done. Salazzle, if it checks Kartana, if Mandibuzz checks Kartana, and if I can get hazards up, then their jobs are done. Like, and really, this Ferrothorn is meant to take on any version of Rotom. Even if it's running HP Fire, obviously Ockerberry, I think it allows me to take 2 HP Fires. But that's the thing. Rotom has to choose between HP Fire and HP Ice. And if it chooses HP Fire, it really can't touch Garchomp all that well, especially for how bulky this thing is. Like, I believe I'm invested to live to Timid Hydro Pumps. And we obviously blow it away with Draconium Z. But, our Breaker Core, I'd rather a really fat team this week now to look at it, but like, really just kind of semi-stally, but not really, because this thing still breaks really easily, this thing still breaks, and really win conditions are kind of just making sure I shut down all of his offensive threats, and then after that, everything is just kind of handled by my defensive core. So yeah, I really didn't have a defined win condition this week. This was a really difficult matchup for me to build for, because I didn't have much solid answer. His offense just runs through me. Like, if I'm not careful and he brings a hyper offense team, I could very well lose. Just because this team is really difficult to build for. But I think we've got our best way to check everything, as well as we can. It's a tough one for us, but so long as we can handle Moltres pretty well, that's the biggest thing, is getting rid of Moltres. Once we can get rid of Moltres and we can stack hazards, we'll be good to go. Fair. Oh, let me explain what I can get rocks up on. Chomp forces switches, so pretty easy to get rocks up. We can get rocks up mainly on things like, I think our easiest way to get rocks up is against either Rotom or Amoonguss. If he tries to burn me, I mean, like, if he goes hard Rotom on me, I don't know, it's going to be interesting. Really getting rocks up is just going to be a matter of if I find something that's choice locked and I can get in safely and just kill or set up rocks. But yeah. And then getting up spikes is easy. We get up spikes versus any of his water types. We get up spikes versus we get spikes up versus a lot of his team. Spikes up versus Klefki. We get spikes up versus Garchomp. We get spikes up versus Wigglytuff. We get spikes up versus Ribombee. If we don't think he's gonna set up, but even if he tries to set up, it's just dead. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the battle.